Hello and welcome to another Diecast review. This time we're going to be looking at Jimmie Johnson's Ally Finale Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1/64 scale diecast. You can find a link to purchase your own version of this diecast in the description below if you like what you see here in this review from our friends at Circle B Diecast. So let's get right into this. I turned up the saturation on the camera a little bit for this first little bit of the review. So you can kind of see some of the contrast between the colors a little more vibrantly. It also helps with the number, that number is a lot more accurate to what it looks like on the car in this compared to the second portion, which we'll take you through that when we get to that transition. But a really cool car. Obviously, this is Jimmie Johnson's quote-unquote last ride. It's not the raced edition of it. We'll start with the box. Hopefully, this is our last 2020 diecast. So this is your 2020 box. Jimmie Johnson, Hendrick Motorsports. This should actually be Jimmie's last diecast, or one of his last, at least, to be released. For, his final season in the NASCAR Cup Series. So looking at the box, it's kind of the standard, action racing on the back. You got the sticker, Jimmie Johnson, 48 Ally Finale. Ages 4 and up. Barcode NASCAR. Just your standard stuff. There's your choking hazard up top. And then Action Race Collectibles. You got that other hologram, whatever, sticker. Jimmie Johnson, all caps, 48 Ally Finale, 2020 Camaro ZL1 LE, limited edition, and then the code for it, 1/64 scale, limited edition collectible. Then on the bottom, you have all your licensing, your Lionel Racing, RCCA Elite, General Motors, all the normal stuff that you see on these boxes. Not a big fan of the 2020 box design because it doesn't have any color incorporated in it, but it makes everything look uniform. And I always like when you can really tell just by looking at your collection, because I have a huge collection at this point of 1/64. Maybe we'll do a collection video at some point. Tell me if you're in the comments below if I should do a collection video. But you can at least tell it's uniform. You can tell what cars are from what year. And they've done a good job with that, with making this one a little bit unique compared to some of the other ones with that spiral detail on the front side. But yeah, that's the box. Let's go ahead and move that on out of the way. This is what you're actually here for, right? We spent 2.5 minutes looking at a box. Now we're gonna spend the rest of this video looking at the race car. A really cool. So they started the year with the black as the base. They moved to white. And then for the finale, they used the silver. Really cool. Of course, you got the shorter spoiler on the Camaros since the tooling is a little bit older. It goes back to 2018 when they were still using the smaller spoilers. Although they have redone the nose to make it a little more round, so that spoiler is actually a little bit bigger than what it was originally on the Camaros. I know it sounds weird. It's probably, makes no sense for maybe some of those people that are newer to collecting, but looks really solid. Really like how the colors do pop pretty well. They're a little more muted on the actual diecast than what you see on your camera here, and we'll talk about that as we get to the later portion of this review. But the silver really, really looks good. It's really glosses and shiny. It's got that metallic flake on the diecast, which is sometimes something that doesn't get translated very well to diecast, and I think Lionel did a fantastic job of that. You have the Cup Series on the banner with the kind of dingy looking Chevrolet logos, which is kind of just how the manufacturer has it on there. Not a big fan of the way they do their logos on the cars. 48 Ally on the roof, Johnson's name on the rear banner, Ally on the back with that checkerboard pattern kind of coming up onto the deck lid, which is really cool. If we look at the side, of course, you only have the Cup Series logo there, the NASCAR race car logo. I'm going to put this thing down. But again, a really solid design that they've chosen to use for 2020. That they chose to use. Compared to, I think, the 2019 card kind of just, it lacked a lot in design. You had that big A on the back, and now we've put Ally there on the quarter panel. It's like, 1-2 times on, if you include the C-post. And then the cutout there at the back with the Ally. If we look up here again, those colors a little more vibrant than what they are on the actual diecast. And again, we'll talk about that a minute or so here. Ally, of course, right there. HendrickCars.com, right in front of the wheel. You got your Valvoline stickers, your B-Post sponsors and whatnot. And, of course, the Neon 48, which was a welcome sight to see back these last couple of years of Jimmie's career. I think it was a couple of years they didn't have it. I'm glad to see it. You see the design kind of goes up and over the shark fin on the back. And then again, that cutout of that Ally logo, it's just cool when they kind of use negative space in a different way on the design. No big issues either with the wrapping on this car, which is very good to see, especially since it's such a big piece. It's such a big car. Very monumental, important, of course. Of course, passenger side is the same as the driver's side. So nothing too spectacular special to see there. But it looks really, really solid. So like I said, a little more saturated in this first part of the video. As we transition, this is a little more accurate to the way those purples are. They're a little more muted. And you can kind of see that here. This Ally branding on the hood has been really solid and really, really good since they've come back in. And you can see everything lines up very well, which is, again, very good to see. I was really, really happy with the way this car turned out. Again, especially with that metallic flake, which sometimes does not translate to diecast as well as maybe it would on an actual race car, but it looks really, really solid comparing it to some of the pictures from Phoenix last year in November. A couple more spins so you can kind of see that. Again, that negative space looks so cool. I love the way they had the Ally logo in there. It's a little busy, but you're kind of, again, you're using that positive versus negative space, and I think you're using that very effectively, kind of, because it's not layered. The way it's layered, it looks more like it's sunken into the design rather than being laid up and over the design, which gives it that clash for that Ally A logo. Again, everything lines up pretty well here. I didn't notice that pink a little bit on the Y is a little bit off, but nothing to write home about there. 48, of course, it looks good with the fluorescent yellow, the highlighter yellow, whatever you want to call it. And of course, the Gold Series cars have the black interiors as compared to the NASCAR Authentics versions of these cars. I'm assuming this will end up being made in NASCAR Authentics because it is such a popular car. Probably Wave 4, because I think Wave 3 was just released this last week here on YouTube. And then the back's got this purple. It's a little darker than what shows up on the camera again. So that's just something to be aware of. It's not as bright there, but I'm glad they kept the solid color on the TV panel on the back, which is something that's kind of become a staple at Hendrick Motorsports. That's this car. I mean, I loved it. I'm not a Jimmie Johnson fan by any stretch of the mile, but a really solid car, especially if you've been a fan of NASCAR, because, again, Jimmie Johnson is such a big deal. Make sure you hit that like button down below, as my finger's trying to tell you, and hit subscribe. But, again, a great diecast. You can get it at circlediecast.com. We'll have a link in the description below, and make sure you use that code JTN. You saw it flash across your screen during this video. Use that code JTN at checkout when you get some of these 164s. Maybe you get the 124 version of this car. It's a fantastic car. This, again, was our review on Jimmie Johnson's 164 Ally Finale Chevrolet Camaro ZL1LE from Phoenix last year, Jimmie's last Cup Series race. For now, you never write off a comeback, do you? But tell us what you think about it. If you've gotten it, if you're debating on purchasing it, tell us if maybe this review swayed your opinion one way or the other. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I've been Johto here with JTN. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. Thank you for watching.